Right? Why aren't we winning? We want so badly to win in this particular area or in all areas, and yet we seem to not win. In our relationships, we see people so romantic and so happy and so, things seems to be one. But in our hearts, we really want this. Hi, love. How are you, love blessings? But we can't seem to get it. On our jobs, in our careers, okay, in our businesses, we want to achieve certain things, and it just doesn't seem like we're going to be able to do it. In our finances, it just seems like if we get one step ahead, we get 3 steps back. Well, darling, I'm going to bring something to you that may be a little tough to talk about, but this may be one of the reasons, but I'm willing to bet it's a huge reason of why we don't win. And I'm going to give you 3 points, as I normally do. I'm going to give you 3 points. But these 3 points are unique because it's going to keep wrapping back around to point 1. And point 1, the reason why you can't win, the reason why you may not be winning is because of, number 1, you. Yeah, I said it, you. I know I'm going to lose some people right there. The hearts then went down there. But you are a big major reason why you may not be winning. And we all have to check that. We all have to look at that. We all have to examine that. Am I the big reason of why I'm not winning? You said, what do you mean? I've been wanting this forever. I've been working toward this. I've been praying toward this. I've been putting oil on everything. So much oil, honey, I'm sliding out of my house. You just don't realize that I really want this. I want my business to grow. I want my finances to grow. I want to win. And you mean to tell me that it may be me? Yes, indeed, darling, it may be you. Okay, I know it's going to get quiet. But replay viewers, I'm going to need you to share this out. I'm going to need you to tweet this out. I'm going to need you to put this on Facebook because somebody is struggling right now and they're wondering why. And it may be them. See, a lot of people want money. But money is not money per se. Money is the mindset before you receive the money. Some people want great relationships, but great relationships is the mindset before you receive the great relationship. Some people want great careers in business, but you have to have the mindset first before you can be successful in it. You say, well, what do you mean? If this mind is not renewed, if this mind is not changed, if you're still thinking with the same old mind, you are going to stop yourself from winning. And many of us have a tape recorder, well, all of us do, have a tape recorder in our minds that keeps playing. But the thing is, what is that tape recorder playing? What is on, and I said tape recorder, I didn't date it myself. What is that CD? What is that MP3? What is playing over and over and over again that you keep hearing? You're stupid, you're dumb, you're never going to make it. Oh, I'm not getting no hearts on that. Is we reflecting? Are we thinking there? What are we doing? Because I want to make sure you're getting this. Sometimes we'll say to ourselves, I'm not smart enough. I'm not thin enough. I'm not beautiful enough. I'm not witty enough. And we stopped ourselves way before anyone else can do it. Thank you so much for the hearts. Before anyone else can do it, we've stopped ourselves. Now, I know this is going to be a silent scope. I get that because you said, wait a minute. Am I doing this? But I'm glad that you're thinking because many of us will go through life and we won't even think about it. We'll blame everybody else. Tay, Nate, Ray, and all of them did it to me. Junebug, Uncle George, and all of them blocked me from doing it. When all along it was really you. That's point number one. Point number one. Take the time now and say, what am I doing to stop my own success? Let's have a Salah moment. In other words, let's pause and think about it. What am I doing to block my own success? Oh yeah, it's deep. It's deep right there, because you have to be real with yourself. Very often we don't want to be real. We want to be, yes, I'm wonderful, we're beautiful, we all are smart, we're all a size 0, we all are blonde and beautiful, we're all this and that. No, darlings, we're not. You are beautiful. You are bigger. You are may have to study a little longer, but you are wonderful in of yourself. But you have to figure out, what am I doing to block my own success? Why am I not winning? Well, number one, it may be you. Number two, it may be others. It may be others. It may be your mother. It may be your father. It may be that boyfriend that you're sleeping with. It may be that woman that you're married to. It may be your boss. It may be your cousin and them. It may be all of those people. But why, darling? Here it goes, back and going right back to you. Why are you allowing them in your life and having so much control? See, when we were children, remember when we were children? We couldn't do a lot of things. Mama had to do it. Daddy had to do it. Auntie, Grandma, G-Ma and them. They all had to help us. Our teachers. Everybody in our life had a say. Everybody in our life were dictating what we did and we said. But once we became teenagers, we began to pull away from that. See, we talk about teenagers all the time, but the truth of the matter is you have a normal teenager when they start to pull away from that control, because it shows that they are developing into an adult. And when you become adults, you put away childish things. See, it's not just all about being silly and icky and funny, but when you become grown, you put away childish things that I can't do it, and I need mama to help me, and I can't pay for this, I need daddy. I'm stepping on somebody's toes, because some of y'all are 50 and 60 years old and you're going to mama and dad for everything. Oh Lord, I know you're not going to like this scope, but y'all go ahead and pray for me, okay? Just pray that I get through this. It's okay to ask for help in an emergency, but when you really are an adult, you learn how to do things on your own. Okay, with the help of God, with the help of mentors, but you ultimately are responsible for you. You said, wait a minute, I thought you said that sometimes others will stop me from winning. Yes, if you allow them. This is a Salah moment. If you allow them. Yes, they can tell you you're dumb and you're stupid and you're not going to make it. But it's you who accepts the message. Wait a minute now. I know you said, well, you sitting up here in this perfect world. Everything's working out for you. But honey, I spent many years of people telling me I was ugly, I was stupid, I would not make it, I'm not going to do it. I spent years at that. And worse off, I spent years of my childhood like that. My parents were loving. My church family was loving. Some of my friends were loving. But the outside world was terrible. It was so terrible. I didn't want to live any longer. Listen, I'm trying to help you here. I'm trying to help you. But my mind, connected with God's mind, something clicked and said, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. It was almost like that story in the Bible when the man spent all that he had, and he came from great wealth. He came from a loving family, and he ended up in the pig pen. And somewhere along the line, he said, wait a minute. I can go back home. I can live better than this. And that's what happened to me. Wait a minute. I am royalty. I am a daughter of the king. He did not make junk. He made me this way for a reason. And so even though others can stop us from winning, they can only stop us if we let them. Did you hear what I said? They could only stop us if we let them. Oh, you don't know my husband, honey. He got control of the money. He won't let me do this. He won't. Listen, darling. First of all, where there's a will, there's a way. If you choose to stay with him, there's ways you can save some money. But you can also decide, I'm not going to be up under that scrutiny. Only, that's right. Only stop us if we let them. If we let them. There is always a way out. God taught me in his word that he always provides a way out. Always. Someone will come into your life and say, hey, get on board with this. Somebody will speak something into your life. Somebody will move something for you. You will see maybe something even on yourself. You'll find a way out, but only you can do it. And why are you stopping yourself from winning? It may be you. It may be other people, but it still comes back to you. So that's number one. That's number two. Number one, it was us, you. Number two was others. And number three is circumstance. Circumstance. Why are we not winning? Maybe because of circumstance. Listen, I want to go into it further, but I've got to reintroduce myself. So if you're still here with me, put a number 3 through the chat box while I reintroduce myself. Hello, my name is Toni Henderson-Mayers. I am the author of Wise Courtship. Wise Courtship is a book with a 3-step system to help you determine the true character and the true intent of your love interest. And listen, we are so... thank you so much, Elder King. I know the whole scope done went silent. Listen, replay viewers, listen, don't pass out. And if you do, come on and revive yourself. Come on, get up off the floor, because we got to talk about number 3. We got to talk about it. We're talking about circumstance. There are times in your life when things just happen. Thank you, darling. I'm so glad you're still with us. There are times when things happen in our life. It just happens. People die. People move. People get sick. You hurt yourself, you become lame, crippled, blind, crazy, whatever. There's so many things that can happen to you in your life. And yes, it can stop you from winning. But listen, darlings, listen, it still goes back to you. It will stop you if you let it. Yes, things happen. I was 19 years old, living a happy life with a 2-parent family, making so much money I couldn't even get financial aid. Okay, I'm in a private college, enjoying my life, going about my life. My parents were paying the tuition, but I was working too because I wanted to feel like I was doing something as well. When suddenly, halfway through my sophomore year, my father dies, and life as I knew it was totally different. We went from 2-parent home to a 1-parent home. My mother went from being home, going to work and being home most of the time, and my dad being there all the time, to nobody being home ever. Okay. And I was basically stayed away in my campus, working 3 or 4 jobs. My mother worked 3 or 4 jobs. And, we went spiraled into almost destitution until we all worked our way back up. And back then you couldn't say, oh, well, we had hardship, so now I want financial aid. Back then it was like whatever your tax return said, that's what was going to happen. So we were making too much money, and then we worked those 3 and 4 jobs, and we still made too much money. And so we had to struggle through. But I didn't come out of school. I didn't quit. It was hard busting tables and taking care of people's kids and working the switchboard at night and doing some other odds and ends jobs. It was hard to do that and study and be a leader and, do all of these things and still try to be in school. It was hard. It was hard. It was hard. Then when I went to grad, many of you know I have 3 master's degrees. I'm going to tell you an exclusive right here. You need to share this one because it's going to bless somebody. I remember going for my master's degree, so I knew that my mother couldn't pay for it. She's a widow now, right? She's working all the time. So I had to figure out a way, how can I go for my master's degree free of charge? Okay, because I'm a college student. How am I going to pay for this? Well, I studied, I looked, and I finally found a way. Do an assistantship. I did an assistantship. They accepted me based off my merit. My maiden name is Toni Henderson. When I got there, they were looking for a white man, not a black woman. I could see it all over their face, and suddenly they got rid of the assistantship. They would only cover 1 semester instead of my entire time. So I had to leave that school and go to another school. When I got to the other school, I scrimped and I saved and I paid to go to school. The classes were over $1,000 each. I scrimped and I saved. And when I got to my last 2 courses, the entire school closed down. The entire school closed down. Do you hear what I'm saying? And so now I've got to start all over again. Not only did I get one master's degree, I hope you're hearing me today. Not only did I get 2 master's degree, but I got 3 master's degree. Now, don't you tell me anything about you cannot do it. You can do it if you want to do it. You can do it if you want it bad enough. Yes, I'm yelling because I'm talking to that spirit that will block you every time. It will stop you from, I need to get some hearts off of that right there. It will stop you from winning every time. It comes back to not your circumstances, but it comes back to you. Now, this is only 1 or 2 stories, darling. I've got so much more I could tell you, but we don't have enough time right here on this scope. There's so much more I can tell you. And what happens is, look, what happens, Elder King, is people see, what happens, Woman of Worth, is people's Demeter. Listen, what people's will do is they will see your glory, but they don't know your story. They will clap off that glory. Ooh, yeah, you did it, girl. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. They'll get jealous. Yes, they'll get jealous off your glory, but they have not tapped into your story. Yes, I'm walking in like a boss off my 3 master's degree, but I worked for that. I worked more than I should have for that. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I see people not winning over simple, silly things. And I'm not diminishing. I'm not diminishing what you have to go through. But sometimes it's like, oh, I broke my nail. Or, oh, it's not in the place I want it to be. Oh, it's not paying what I want it to pay. Let me tell you something. There are plenty. I admire my husband so much. Hello, darling, Dr. Adams. How are you? Let me tell you something. You just missed a powerful testimony, Dr. Adams. So make sure you watch this replay, darling. Make sure you watch this replay. Let me tell you something. I admire my husband so very much. It don't matter if he got degrees. It don't matter what. If he's trying to get into a place, he'll come in there and sweep the floor. You hear what I'm saying? He's worked. When he got the job that he got at the university, he came in mopping the floors with his degrees. Mopping the floors, and mopped his way all the way up to being over his department. Blink, 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 blink. You can do this. Even now as we speak, he's working on his MFA. Even now as he speaks, he is working on his plays, his productions, his screenwriting. He's doing it. We all can do it. The only thing is stopping us is you. I know I said number 1 was you. I know I said number 2 was other people. I know I'm saying number 3 is circumstance. And God knows there can be circumstances. Like I told you with the school. I didn't know they were going to close down. I think they were right dirty for closing down and not telling us. And then we couldn't even sue. They were wrong for that. But I wanted it badly enough. So much so that I still went back again. And not only 1 master's, but 2 and 3 masters. You cannot let circumstances stop you from winning. Let me tell you something. I didn't even know it was going to be this good. I'm going to post this myself. I need for you to post this because someone right now is about to give up. Do you know that there are, Dr. Adams, there are people who are less talented than you. There are people who are not as smart, not as bright, not as innovative. And yet they will push themselves and do well, do better than you ever dreamed of. Thank you so much for putting that summation up there. I know someone who is making CDs, honey, and the whole music industry in that genre is saying they can't even sing. How does a person who can't even sing make CDs? Because they believe they can do it. They are going to buy into themselves. They're going to push themselves because they see themselves as a winner. And you know what? They're going to win. They're going to win. Hello, darling. Hello. Listen, Redmond, you got to watch this replay because I just gave a testimony that's going to bless you. We can have what it is we want. We can win if we don't quit. That's what T.D. Jakes says, right? We can win. Hello. Yes, you got to watch this, Redmond. I think it's going to bless you. I believe it's going to bless you. You can win if, number 1, you stop stopping you. Number 2, you stop letting other people stop you. And number 3, you stop letting circumstances stop you. Things will happen. But you've got to push through. And guess what? Even if it's other people, even if it's circumstances, it still comes back round to you? How bad do you want it? That's what my husband always says. How bad do you want it? We'll know how bad by how much you stick in there, how much you keep pushing. How bad, darlings, do you want? I know this is a silent scope right here. I know that. I knew when I got on it was going to be tough nuggets. But I've got to shake you. I've got to give you something to think about this weekend, darling. You got to think about this thing. How bad do I want it? Nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing you do is going to be straight street. Pick any star. Pick any business mogul. Pick any millionaire. Pick anyone who's great in their careers. Pick any wonderful wife, handsome husband. Pick anybody who has a wonderful family. Pick any minister, any preacher, any doctor, any lawyer. Pick anybody who's done anything worth anything. And it has not been easy. How bad do you want it? The reason why you're not winning. I know it's kind of on a negative tone, but it's not negative. It's really positive. Because sometimes we got to be smacked around. You know that Joan Crawford smack? I love the black and white pictures. Crack! How bad do you want it? Because sometimes you're just not winning because of you, because of others, because of circumstance. But whatever the case is, it still comes back to you. Because it's all about how you see it. It's all about how you see it. You say, hey, when my father died and we didn't have all this, that, and the other. And I'm going to tell you something. One of the worst things that can happen to you is to have it all and lose it. See, some of you have never had. And some of the people who never had, they work hard. That's what I love about them. But some people have never had it, and they don't think anything about the fact that when you have it and then you lose it, ask those people who won the lottery. You had it all. You were living large, and now you don't have it. That's one of the worst feelings in the world. If I can work through that, having it, then not having it, and working to get it, you can do it too. If I can go to a school and work hard, get all the way to the finish line, they close down, and still do it, you can do it too. If I can live through all type of verbal abuse, not from my family, not from my close friends or my church friends, but people on the outside who I had to deal with on a regular basis. If I had to deal with that as a child and still have great self-esteem, that's one of the things people talk about is my self-esteem. If I can still have great self-esteem after all of that, it took work, darling. It took prayers. It took tears. If I could do it, you can do it too. If you're not winning, darling, take a Salah moment and say, what am I doing to block myself from winning?